Welcome to Culture Beast. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple months.
Yeah, I went off and tried to die on you.
Yeah.
Back now, though. Fun story about that later.
Is it fun, though?
No, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. The whole, from like start to finish.
Yeah.
Just pretty shit. Just the whole thing. But better now.
Good.
Better now.
Better now, are you? You all then, are you?
Yes, well, indubitably, you understand.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome back to the land of the living, sir.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you. We pressed your things and they are in your room. As you can...
what's his name?
That's descriptive.
Gosh. The 70s... Austin Powers. I guess cryologically.
Basil.
Yeah.
I think that was his name. Was it Basil?
Basil, yeah.
I feel it sounds like... I watched those since I was...
cryogenically frozen.
Yes, Basil.
Yes.
Stop moving it. Because then it wobbles. Weeble wobble. Yeah, that one, yeah.
We're back in the studio.
Yeah, we've kind of had to actually use it. Well, you've kind of had to actually use it as a garage.
Yes.
So we're using a temporary set at the moment.
I'm in mid restoration of this guy.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
1970s Mannix style dune buggy. It's not a true Mannix, but it's definitely the style of a Mannix dune buggy.
It's still cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So I got the chassis here, as you can see, kind of just in the peripherals of the frame.
Peripherals.
I don't know. That's string?
Yeah.
Huh, I just noticed that.
Industrial, though, you know. Industrial style string.
Wonder what they were hoping that held it on.
The axle, probably. Yeah.
Just light it up.
Yeah, we wouldn't need a pellet stove, would we? The whole house would burn down.
It'd be nice and toasty.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah. So this is here, that's there, and we're having some cigars
everywhere.
And some coffee today.
Yeah, coffee. I can't drink at the moment.
Right.
I'm not supposed to drink at the moment. So we're doing coffee today.
Yeah, we're doing a Colombian natural processed from my homie up in Great Falls,
nice sippy
El Blanco. It's sweet, strawberry notes. Hopefully it pairs well with our cigars.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so pretty excited about it. Got some water.
I'm excited about it.
And what are we smoking today?
Tabernacles from Foundation. You know, Nick does a great job over there. And this is the Petite Lancero, so it's long and skinny, how I used to be. That's terrible. I meant height-wise, not...
I should have grabbed that punch.
Well, shit.
Dang
you
it.
should have grabbed your birthday or Christmas present.
Dang it.
Whatever present it was.
You should have tried it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. This is a little too small for it, I think.
Oh, okay.
But on a bigger cigar,
that's what I was thinking, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to grab
I knew you knew.
In the back of my mind, I was like,
yeah,
you know
you tried to save yourself some embarrassment by forgetting.
Anyways, shall we light these?
Yes. Why you like this? It's probably cold. Mine doesn't like to be cold.
Ooh. Wow, I've never tasted that in a cigar before.
What?
I've never tasted this in a cigar before.
What taste what? I don't know what that means.
It's just a different taste than what I've used to tasting. I don't know.
Tabernacles are good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them.
Ooh.
That natural pepperiness of that Nicaraguan on your tongue.
Spice.
Yeah.
I wonder how it pairs with this coffee.
Let's find out.
Brings out the sweetness of the coffee.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for a good Petite Lancero as well. Like, there's just something about it.
Sure.
They smoke really nice.
So what's up with you?
I've had some health scares and some medical complications, and kind of got really serious there for a second.
Yeah.
But on the mend, I'm at about 60%. Not, there's still some things to be done, but yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Tell us about your new. I'm glad you're better and healthy. That was kind of weird.
I'm leaving. I'm scaling back at work so I can, only doing one job instead of 3.
Right.
And just I'm just trying to be a better steward of this vessel of bone and flesh that I've been given to walk through this world in. That was so cryptic. I should have written that down.
That was great. Well, we recorded it, so
just about to say we're gonna be okay.
Make a sound clip of it.
But yeah, it was was a little bit of a wake up call. I'm reevaluating some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been reevaluating your car lineup.
Nissan Titan now. Lexus is going to go back to you, so you can drift missile the shit out of it.
It's going to be great.
Maybe picking up a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Yep.
We just rotate cars.
Yeah.
Like we just keep cycling them in the family.
Yeah.
And then there was and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, down the road from the studio and the shop here is a 1971 Aston Mini, the original Mini Cooper, for those of you who are uneducated swine.
Yep.
And we actually stopped finally after years of driving by it and me drooling over it for years.
So there we were. He's like, you should drive the Titan. I was like, let's go. Yep. And so we're driving. And he's like, I've always wanted to stop by that Mini. I'm like, well, let's go stop by the Mini. Roll up to the thing.
Yep.
Guy's working on his van. Peeks around the corner. Oh, hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I know a lot of people in this town. I know a lot of people, a lot of places. But every time something like that happens, oh, hey, Paul, every flipping time. It's so annoying. But it ended up, and so we talked about it, and thinking that's going to come home with me.
Yeah.
It's been sitting for about a year, but it ran great before that, so it probably just needs some maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, he bought it for his wife. She's just not been interested in it, I guess. So it's been sitting. And
I mean, it's a little car. It's hard to get in and out of every day. And I'm going to have to reposition the seat because it's even too close for me, which is saying something because I'm a little guy.
Yeah. I didn't sit in it, but I'm sure
tiny.
Yeah.
So I need to, cut the back seat in half and get the seat to go back. And it's fixed position seat, so.
I thought the guy, didn't he say that the owner
he
had
put
in
it back already.
Dailied it.
Yeah, and put it back already. But I was hitting the steering wheel with my knees.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd like to have it back like another 2 inches, so. But yeah, I plan on, weather permitting, I plan on driving it quite a bit. It's such a me car.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that happens.
And I will have to get driving gloves again.
Yes, you would absolutely have to get driving gloves. Yes. That's one of the fun things about like owning classic cars is like figuring out like what you're going to wear when you drive them. Like there's certain outfits I don't want to drive when I drive my bug,
Yeah. Oh no.
It's absolutely. So fun. So yeah, so that's exciting. Very excited to see that.
Yeah, and I the biggest takeaway from all of this has been that while I'm not old, I'm not young anymore.
Right.
And that was laid very plain to me.
Sure.
And so I'm now, like we kind of talked about earlier, gonna start doing things that I want to do because I want to do them. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Come into your own.
I have a lot of car related topics to talk about.
Yeah.
So I would like
mostly car.
Yeah, I'd say we just make it a motorsport moment here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any outside music or cultural things happening that I want to touch on. I don't think so. I found a new podcast called Tritonal. It's we listened to it this morning with breakfast. It's an artist called goes by the name of Tritonal. It's 2 guys, and they have a podcast called Tritonia. which is it's pretty fun. It's kind of it's almost like a nod to the Featured Beat Show of sorts.
Yes, which we love.
Yeah, and they put out DJ Complexion just put out his 300th episode, which is really awesome.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
And it's cool, like hearing him talk. Like people have like really connected through this podcast. Like people have met each other through it. You know, people proposed to through it.
Wow.
You know, so it's cool that he's been like so labor intensive to bring people. So like actually my next tattoo that I want to get is an astronaut. In nod to the Feature Beat Show, you know, because it's all like space themed.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a really fun tribute to, you know, what that podcast has kind of meant for me, you know, and what's shown me.
Yeah, I mean, you've been listening to that for years.
Yeah, since episode 120. Wow. Maybe earlier than that. Yeah, I remember exactly where I was when my friend told me about it. I'm not kidding.
That was so cliche.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was just, but it's one of those things that just had such a big impact in my life that like I've known, like I remember it so clearly. Yeah. What episode I listened to, where I was, you know. Yeah. So you don't get those things very often.
No.
So.
No.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And that's a feat. 300 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is episode 24 for us.
So. Yeah, we're slacking. I want to first and foremost, I want to talk. I'm a big like smaller car companies who, you know, might not have the volume of say Toyota or McLaren or something like that.
Right.
You're familiar with Noble?
Yeah.
They got a new supercar coming out.
Oh, really?
Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
I sent it to you.
Did you? Well,
yeah,
my phone's recording.
Well, no, like I sent it to you like weeks ago.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's called the M500. And it's and that they announced it at Goodwood in 2018, and now they're actually like building it, and it's stunning. Yeah, and it's Noble has this. I'm trying to think of the right word. They have this kind of philosophy where they're old school. So, you know, they don't have airbags or anti-lock brakes, you
nice.
know.
Love that.
You know, the suspension is coilovers with no active adjustment, hydraulic steering, you know, like kind of old school, because they want that feeling, and the new one's going to be just like that.
Right.
And I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, it's cool seeing car companies kind of have those nods back to nostalgia and
it's got a gated shifter.
Oh, really?
6-speed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they were going to do a dual clutch automatic, and they dropped it.
Oh, good. Good for
them.
So
like you can't get an automatic in it, because it's not like the Ferrari you drive to, you know, your restaurant in Miami. It's a enthusiast car.
Right.
And it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my goodness.
It's really pretty, and I mean the whole thing is just really pretty.
Really well done. Looks small.
Which
should be, you know, sports cars should be small.
And I'm excited when you see companies like we've talked about so many times, when they kind of go back to their roots and realize that, you know, the enthusiast is a large market too.
Right.
And Noble has always catered to the enthusiast, which I appreciate.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's hard. The enthusiast market is just hard because, like, for you and I as 30-somethings, you know, like we don't have a lot of extra money to be throwing.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, we don't have like enthusiast money. You know what I mean? Like, in certain regards.
I mean, yeah, cigar enthusiast. I got money for that.
Yeah, but not like buying a new Noble. You know what I mean? Or like
not at this moment. No.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is like
soon, I'd like to buy one someday.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yes, but like at the moment, like we are not the people like flooding the market with their purchases.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, not this week. No.
Right. So that's just like, I mean, there's other cars that are more obtainable. Like we could probably finance a new Corolla. You know what I mean? Or the new Maverick.
Which is it? The Corolla hatch or the new GR Corolla or GR Yard? One of them's like 74. It's starting out at an obscene price. I saw that. What?
Cheap or
expensive? No, it's like
$74,000. It's probably the GR.
But like, I could buy a Corolla or a Yaris, put all the parts on it, and not spend $74,000.
Right. but you could also get a rally bred race car for $74,000.
$74,000. I could build it myself from a base Corolla or
Sure.
whatever, and still not spend that much money. So why would I pay that much money?
I would.
It's stupid.
Because the GR Yaris is going to become a collector car.
That's fair. It's gonna go down as like I think a new age JDM. Legend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, which I have like I can get into more.
Yeah, I know you can.
So
and it makes me kind of.
Well,
I don't get excited about stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing about the GR. We're gonna go culture abuse talk.
Okay.
So the new season of the WRC is kicking off this weekend, right? The 2022 season in Monte Carlo. The new FIA regulations are hybrid cars. So they have electric motors to get them around stages and to kind of like, from stage to stage, and then in the service areas, those sorts of things. Yeah,
which is it's weird.
It's weird. It does give a different dynamic because they can. It saves braking in corners, and then it gives you more power in straights. So it's more of a driver's car in a certain regard because you have to manage the power and the output. But the GR Yaris...
That's a stretch.
The GR Yaris is... No, Loeb actually was talking about that. Sebastian Loeb was talking like it's more... You have to manage the car more than what you did.
When I hear... It's more driver, based, and it's more enthusiast, like all, oh yeah. I don't think of hybrid, and I think that's stupid.
It's not in the traditional sense by any means, but this is like you have to drive the car differently than what you did with the previous generations.
Well, yeah, because power, you could kill yourself.
And so like the regenerative braking and all this stuff, like you actually have to manage the car. The driver is more responsible for managing the car now than what was in previous years.
I don't think that's better.
It's not better.
You know how I am. Anything,
but it adds a certain level of difference in the WRC. That's it is what it is. Anyways, so Toyota is now using the GR Yaris as their base for their rally car. So it is like a full-fledged rally car, and like no companies are doing that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not paying $74,000 for that car. Period. Like I'm not. It's not that car. No, I wouldn't do that. Not for that car. I'd pay $74,000 for the new Alpine A110. If it, their rally spec, I'd pay that much money for that.
There's no way those are 74.
What?
There's no way there's a 74.
No, they're like 120.
Yeah.
But
what else are you gonna do for 74?
Yeah, that's why I said I would do that for 74 because that's cheap. But like if you look at. Well, I can't find it. I'd have to, okay, the new GR Corolla hot hatch. Okay, because I sent this to you. The mechanical all-wheel drive, which I love. The 3-cylinder turbo, wide body kit, manual transmission, right? It's twice the size of that GR Yaris. I would pay, and if they were like, look, the hot hatch version of that is $74,000.
Yes.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm not gonna pay $74,000 for a car I can put in the back of the truck. I'm not gonna do it.
That's fair.
I like to see substance. I want to know yardage per dollar. Okay, not inches per dollar.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If the stages on the WRC circuit are not convincing enough, I don't know what can convince you.
You know me. I'm an irrational. It takes irrational things to convince me. You could be like, it's $74,000. It's won all the world. No, it's garbage. Yeah. It has plaid seats. Really? Like that. I'm irrational when it comes to this shit.
It comes with a wood grain gear knob. Oh yeah.
Oh well. I mean I'd do that.
That's worth it.
Yeah, I have irrational shit like that. Like, I do not like the Porsche 918 because it's hybrid. I just don't like it. As soon as it said it's going to have top-mounted exhaust, I want one. And it's stupid because you shouldn't spend $400,000 for that. But if I could, I would because it's got top-mounted exhaust.
Right.
Not for any other reason. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
I understand.
It's irrational stuff.
Yeah, it's fair. I have those weird things about cars.
Yeah, I just like I don't necessarily like the Porsche 924 and the 944. Add pop-up headlights, all about it.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
Can't I've been 968. Pop up teardrop headlights.
Yeah.
Done. Sexy as hell.
Yes.
I'm irrational about shit like that.
Sometimes those small things that sell people, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love when I first put a battery to my 924 and the pop-up lights turned on, like they came up, I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
And then you hear the, you know.
Yes.
Like,
it was like a magical moment.
Do you want to know my favorite thing about Aston Martins? And you know I love Aston Martins.
Yes.
Do you know my favorite thing is? The swan doors.
Oh, yeah.
The doors open 15 degrees up when you open them.
So cool.
You want to know why they do that?
Why?
So you don't hit curbs.
Oh, really?
How sexy is that?
Yeah, that's
See,
awesome.
that is my favorite thing about Aston Martins. The door.
Yeah.
But I love that little,
little detail.
You know.
Little bit of
if I had one, I would
intentionality.
just stand there and open the door and close the door. Open the only thing that, you know,
Next
they'd
to a
be
curb.
oil change, new tires, and door hinges because I wore them out. You know, like, I'm telling you what.
Yes.
But like circling back.
Yes.
Or else we're never going to get back here. I'm not excited about it. I don't.
That's okay.
And no, and it is.
But you can make the argument that GR Yaris is doing something in motorsports that no other companies are doing.
It is. It is making the 3-cylinder great again.
Yes.
I will give it that.
Yeah.
The 3-cylinder turbo is a screamer.
And they're making like.
How light is that thing?
It's I don't know. I think it's like 25 or something.
Let's Google this, because I want to know. Because it's what, 190 horsepower? It's not much, is it?
It's like 250 or something.
Oh, I'm thinking we watched that thing and that was the number that stuck in my head. GR Yaris specs. Okay, here we go. No, this is the. Okay, this isn't it. Okay. Yeah.
It's a screamer though, man.
Curb weight. I love that Motor Trend's always honest. The 2020 GR Yaris is a street legal rally car you can't buy.
Yeah.
1.6 liter, 257 horsepower, 265 foot-pounds, 12 valve inline 3, 6-speed manual, 2850.
Yeah, 2850.
So it's a ton and a half. That's not a lot. I mean, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because that's
probably. It can't. I mean, Yaris's are small. You've seen my Yaris.
Yeah, tiny.
2 less doors. You know, add 4-wheel drive to that and turbo and yeah.
I'm just not going to pay $74,000 for it. You can name off all these amazing things about it, and I'm kudos to you. I'm very happy for you. I don't care.
That's okay.
I'm not going to buy it.
But you have to respect the car in what it is and what it's doing.
I don't though.
Why not?
I can appreciate it. I don't.
You don't respect the GR Yaris?
No.
Why? Who else is making?
I think it's a bit of like a. What do you call that? It's a bit of a. Like a party piece. It's not like you can't get one.
No.
Yeah. So, what are we even arguing about $74,000 for? We can't buy it.
That's true.
I think it's a bit of a puff piece. I think, yeah, it's got great credibility. It's got the facts are there, and if it does great in WRC, I'm real happy for him.
Yeah.
But But
nobody else is making rally.
I don't see it in Popo Chubby. I don't. Do I look at other cars? I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know. Here's the thing. If I'm going to get behind this car, you're going to love this. If I'm going to get behind this car, I want to react to it like I reacted to Florence Pugh doing the macaroni scene in Hawkeye. Whatever was in my mouth when she started talking about macaroni fell out of my mouth. My tongue included. And I'm here to tell you, you are so about the GR Yaris, and I love that for you.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, there's other cars I would probably own before it, but...
But you can't get one, so yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
I mean, if they're available in the States, I'd probably get a different... You know, it's...
Yeah.
But I like that it's like Toyota is like the only company actually making a rally-bred car.
Subaru's doing it.
They're not
it. They're not
in the WRC.
Tells you how closely I follow it.
The Puma is just a car, you know, like it's not a rally car, you know, like the I-20.
Well, Seat makes rally spec cars.
Who?
Seat.
Seat.
SEAT. It's French. Renault makes rally bred cars.
But they're not in the WRC. They were.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not a new concept.
No, but it's like no companies are doing it anymore. Is my argument?
Yeah, because it's not profitable.
They must be. They're making the GRRs.
And maybe this will. But until now, it has not been profitable.
Right.
That's the only reason companies don't do shit. Is
Right.
because it's not profitable. They don't give a shit about anything else.
Yeah, but
if this changes that, I would like to.
Yeah, because like what was it earlier when we started Culture Beast? We were like, we think manufacturers are going to start making cars that are like drivers' cars that are throwbacks that are actually
so
purpose built.
Not really anybody's done it
Except for Toyota with the GRRs.
So they're going to do a GR Supra, a GR Yaris, a GR Corolla, and a GR, what is that stupid car they make? The one that we don't like. The BRZ, the FT86 or the whatever it's called now. Because they change it every time. Every time they update the car, they change the name.
Right.
Which is the worst continuity from a marketing standpoint you could ever do.
Yeah.
They didn't make, anyway, I could go on a whole rant about that. But, do you think that this GR is going to catch on with other manufacturers? Do you think that's going to happen? I don't see it happening.
I think so. I mean, I think the GR Corolla will at least put a lot of pressure on Subaru.
Ford. The GR Corolla is going after that Focus, I think. I think they're going after
Ford doesn't make the Focus anymore.
Well, it's going after the RS, the Focus RS, the Fiesta ST.
Right, but they don't make those anymore. Subaru is still making the STI, but they don't make a hatchback.
No, God, that was a good looking. I
That's
think that was one of my
like,
favorite.
Subaru enthusiasts want the hatchback.
Yeah,
and
but
Subaru will not give it to them.
My point is, I think that, and I don't know how I didn't know they're not making the Focus RS anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to drive a Fiesta ST like 2 months ago, and I fell in absolute love with it.
Yeah.
I love it's a little tiny thing. It's fun. But and I'm sure if I drove the GR Yaris, I would have a blast.
Yeah.
But I don't want to own one.
Sure. That's fair.
You have a valid point, and it takes a lot for me to admit that you're valid points on anything. I'm interested. I'm cautiously optimistic that the car community will catch on. The car manufacturers will catch on. I hope it does.
Yeah, and I think, like we were talking the last one, you see Nissan making the rear-wheel drive turboed, Z car.
Yes.
That's going to put pressure on.
And now, that is a car I will own.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Toyota ends up doing a turboed version of the BRZ, in response to
which they should have done from the beginning.
Yeah. But I mean, what other companies are making hot hatches? Where's the hot hatches?
A lot of them. My favorite hot hatch. It's Korean. The Type N, baby.
Type N, yeah.
Dude, that is... You know what? I would like to see a GR Yaris and a Type N go at it.
Mm-hmm. But the Type N is it turboed? Is it all-wheel drive?
That I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it's front wheel, if I'm honest. But it's still a hot hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try. I keep forgetting that Apple changed it down here. Hyundai. Isn't that what they used to do in the commercials? Veloster N. Okay. And they have the same horsepower. Specs, here we go. It's a bigger motor, too.
It's a bigger car.
3,100 pounds. Front wheel drive, yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like Toyota just did the GR Yaris really, really well.
Well, I'm waiting to see. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. Speaking of Toyota and GR, though.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the new GT3 car that they made?
No,
from the ground up?
Yes.
Why can't I get a road-going coupe version of that?
Seriously.
That, and I'm going to say something controversial, and I hope one day the Toyota CEO sees this and yells at me in some Japanese language. Some Japanese language. Well, we're off the air. There it is. There's always one
There's only one Japanese language.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been the new Supra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me refresh your memory. That should have been the new Supra.
Yes, absolutely.
And if
It's
you don't know what we're
stunning.
talking about, Toyota, the GR GT3, it's called. That should have been the new Supra.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, where you been holding that one out?
Seriously.
I mean, that design. I hope that's where they're going.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Toyota keeps making cars that are like the world looks at and they're like, okay, you know.
Oh,
like,
the new. I saw in the flesh driving down the road in Bozeman a new Tundra, the brand new one, and it has a presence on the road. It's big, dude.
Yeah.
It's
even
massive.
when I see the Siennas, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I rave about Toyotas. I could do a whole podcast on Toyotas.
Well, I'd rather we didn't. So let's move on.
Same.
But yeah, I think that should have been the new Supra. I am sticking to my guns. I said this on an earlier podcast, and then I kind of wavered. I'm sticking to my guns. I think the new Supra is absolutely atrocious.
Do you?
I thought it was growing on me, and then I kept re-looking at it, and I just can't.
I like them better in person than I do in pictures.
Oh, I will say that.
Yeah.
Because you can they're a little bit longer than you think they are, and but I just can't get behind it. I can't.
The good thing about the new Supra is when you see them in person, you notice them.
Yes,
You know?
that is true.
It's hard to not notice a new Supra.
Yes. Having said that, I think that they just... I guess after... It's like the NSX. When the NSX, they haven't made the last update was 2005. And they stopped making them in like 7, 8. And I like the original, the first gen, because of the flip lights, But, they had a long time to bring us a new NSX. And when they did, it was like...
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Supra. They had... And you take these cars and you have the pedigree and the expectation, and then you don't deliver. I lose faith.
I think I found the common thread when you were thinking about that. Toyota's worst cars are when they partner with a different company. Toyota's best cars are when they do them by themselves. The 8.6 is paired with Subaru. It's
the
okay.
BR, yeah, and then they did the Supra and the Z4 BMW.
And those are the two outlining cars that were like, meh, kind of whatever. But the GRERs, banging. Corolla, banging. GT3, banging.
Tacoma or
Tundra, banging.
The new Land Cruiser that we can't... They're not selling Land Cruiser in the States anymore, which is bullshit.
It is.
But they'll sell you the Lexus equivalent for 50 more grand.
Right.
Bastards. I think
that's the common thread.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just not partner with people.
I mean, what other companies partner for, obviously, Aston Martin uses
a lot of Ford stuff. Well, they did.
Well, no, yeah, but now they use a lot of Mercedes stuff. A lot of people use Mercedes stuff. A lot of people, even Pagani, a lot of people use AMG engines because they fucking work. Oop. There it was. Because they flip and work.
Yeah.
My mom's starting to listen to these, so I have to...
Tone back.
Yeah. I told her to
My mom listens too, so...
Do?
Yeah, she does.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Look at... That's...
Our parents are big supporters.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, we... But I've quite forgotten what I was talking about.
Subarus.
My brain's a little foggy
That's
still.
okay.
Subarus?
No.
So if you think about other car manufacturers, besides like components, but like from the ground up,
sure,
not a lot of them.
I mean, Audi shares Volkswagen stuff.
Well, that's different. They're owned by the same company.
Right.
Subaru and Toyota, BMW and Toyota are not owned by the same company. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, Toyota owns a big part of Subaru, so that's why they partnered with the. But it just...
But you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I know what you're saying. But I think that's the common thread. I think that's... I think when Toyota does their themselves, cars by themselves, they do great.
That's fair. That's a culture beast point right there. That's a good one. Speaking of Volkswagen, I was driving out of the canyon into Bozeman from Big Sky the other day, and this black SUV screamed by me, probably about 130.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Lamborghini Urus.
Oh, really?
And it was at full chat, as
Jeez.
Jeremy Clarkson likes to say.
Just on it.
And I have to say, I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan when they came out. I think this luxury super SUV fad, because now Ferraris, when they swore 5 years ago they were never going to do it,
Right.
and now they're building one.
Right.
And granted, it is the best looking of them.
Yes.
I mean, Aston Martin's got the DBX,
Which is gorgeous
the Urus,
as well. Bentley's got one.
Bentley, the Bentayga, the Cullinan, Rolls. All they did was give the Phantom better suspension and a higher roof line. That's really all they did. But
Volkswagen's just such a funny company.
yeah, but I tell you what, I hate these things.
Yeah.
And it had to be one of the best sounding cars. I mean,
Yeah.
it just scared the shit out of me.
It's so rad.
But it was, and you know what? In person,
mm-hmm. They're sweet.
they're huge.
Yeah, they're big. Real big.
You don't think, but they're massive cars.
Yeah. I wonder
and they're wide.
Yeah. I wonder when they'll do a redesign. Because they've been out for what? 6 years?
Here's the thing. It borrows a lot of styling notes from the Aventador and the Huracan. I think we're going to have to wait for their replacement, which is coming. I mean, there's prototypes of because they always do the Gallardo and then the Huracan and now this one. And then they do the big, the flagship, which is the Diablo, Murcielago, Aventador. There's one in between there that I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Volkswagen's just such a funny company because they have like what's the big SUV that they do? The
Atlas.
Yeah, the Atlas.
That's a gorgeous car.
But then the Audi version of that
is the Q8,
which is even better.
The Q8 is one of the prettiest SUVs on the market.
And then the Urus.
It's all the same. It's all the same chassis.
Yeah, it just gets a little bit bigger. But Volkswagen's just like, we'll just stick with this,
Well, and I mean, Volkswagen. There's a lot of people that complain about, well, it's Audi part, but I mean, they're brilliant. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see them do. Personally, I'd like to see them come out with. Updated version of the bus.
Of the bus? Yeah, the Volkswagen bus.
They just keep rebuilding them as electric and all stuff, but I think they'd be fun to actually do one.
Yeah, they've been teasing them. Speaking of Audi, did you see Ken Block is on Audi? Mm-hmm. Did you see the car they built for him?
No. Show me. Or I'll Google it here in a minute. I just have to relight this. How's your cigar? You're halfway in.
Dude, it's delicious.
Petit Lanceros, for some reason, I think they smoke better than most other sizes. Okay, so Ken Block. Let's see here. And then I want to talk about, remind me, Chimera.
Okay.
That's the next thing. Ken Block Audi car. That seems to get me somewhere. Oh, they built him an e-tron car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. Ken Block Audi car. Images. Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
What? See, why can't we get that?
Yeah.
They could bring this back with less scaffolding on it, call it the new Quattro, and they'd sell out the first 5 years they built it.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing is they're calling it a Quattro.
Oh, yeah, look at that. The S1E, yeah.
I really do not like the livery on it. But
no. Those wheels. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's all electric, which is whatever, I guess.
I mean, well, that's where everything's going.
That's where everything's going.
Yeah. But he has the best job in the world.
Yeah, he really does.
So have you heard of Chimera?
Yes.
So they took, they're a one-off, and the Type 037 Lancia that I love. Mm-hmm. They are doing a basically updated version of it.
Oh yeah, that white one?
Yeah. Well, it's several colors now, but
they have one at Monte Carlo for the WRC this year.
Yep. And that's why I wanted to talk about them. Not only are they bringing back, a modern take of a really great car, like, They've done it with the Stratos. They've, several cars have had the Delta Integrale.
Right.
They are actually getting involved in motorsport. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
And not a lot of people are.
Uh-huh.
And I love that. I love that. And they're a one-off company. They make one car.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is it? Just
they call it the Evo 37.
Oh, good. I love that.
And they just make this. And have you seen it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
they kept it boxy, but it's sophisticated.
It's every company that does a homage should look at them as reference because they did it really, really well.
Well,
when you look at it, you know what you're looking at.
That's not the company I would say they need to look at.
What do you mean?
David Brown has brought back the Mini.
Like what?
Yeah.
The original Minis?
Yeah, but he's he's updated. I'll show you.
I say because Mini's still a Mini.
He's brought back the classic Mini, and made it like the Minis were, totally customizable.
Coach work.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. They start at 50, 60 grand, but they are completely. Completely new.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, but
it's a new.
But you can customize
new body
it
and everything.
Yeah,
huh?
It's all new. Obviously, it's modeled after but it's completely you can customize it any way you want.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
They've done it. They've made it the thing that's cool. Being a fashion guy too.
Sure.
They've made it kind of like an auto salon versus ordering a car. Like
what
Singer
does?
What?
Like what Singer builds?
Yeah, you kind of build this thing how you want it. And to get a brand new Mini that's all modern mechanics, electronics, designed how you want for 50, 60 grand.
That's wild.
And they make, I think, one of the best modern homages to the classic GT car, the Speedback GT.
So you'd spend 60 on that, but not on a GRS.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't spend it on the RS. I'd spend it on the Mini.
Interesting.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because that to me is
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. And look at it. It's cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And again, I'm a sucker for coach work too.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see. Because, them, Audi, Nissan, the company that you mentioned before, they're all making throwback cars, or cars that are they're renovating. Did you see Travis Pastrana's new car?
Yes, you showed it to me.
The GL?
No.
Look up Travis Pastrana Gymkhana, new Gymkhana car.
Okay.
It's a move I didn't expect Subaru to make. It's genuinely a move that I was surprised Subaru did.
So I'm Travis Pastrana.
New Gymkhana or new, I don't know what you should search.
New car?
I think so.
Let's see. I think, I did see it. Because I like the wheels.
Yeah, so they took the 80s GL wagon.
Yeah.
And then made a full carbon body.
Yeah.
Out of the car, and then put it on essentially a rally chassis.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Can I see your lighter? I think it's because I'm too close to the thingy. And mine is just,
Mine's having a hard time smoking as well. Yeah, so it's just interesting, that Subaru chose that platform. It's really cool.
Yeah, but the GL wagon, I always thought they're kind of cool.
Yeah, but for Subaru to take that, it's just very unprecedented.
Nostalgia is the currency of the realm right now.
Yeah,
with
but for us as motorsports enthusiasts, we're yes, it's so cool.
Well, it's when they do an Evo 37 and the new Mini, and it's reminiscent of a different time of motorsport.
Yep.
And the other thing that I really enjoy about kind of some of these companies and what they're doing, not Toyota, is that they're staying true to the roots.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Porsche do a new front-engined entry-level sports car.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah. I'd like to see Volkswagen bring back the SP2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a gorgeous car.
Yeah, the SP2 is really cool.
I'd like to see Fiat do a new 2+2 sports car like the old Dinos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see more of this nostalgia. I'd love to see Renault do a new Turbo 5.
Oh gosh, yeah, that'd be amazing.
I would. With today's technology, it'd be a hybrid. Let's be real.
Yeah, yeah.
But can you imagine?
Gosh, it'd be so cool.
With carbon fiber and lightened chassis that we can do now.
Gosh, it'd be amazing. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool seeing like all these companies, you know, do these. I'd
love to be able to get a turbo slant 6 Mustang.
Yes, that would be amazing.
I don't, you know, I think it'd be cool to, you know, and so it makes you wonder kind of now that car companies are starting to do this and these startup companies are starting to do this, what's next?
Bruh.
What are they going to bring back next?
Yeah, because it's cool because like in 20...
Electric horseless carriages?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a Prius.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting place where cars are at right now. But it's fun. It's fun, especially because like when we first started Culture Beast, like we were saying that it'd be cool if car companies did this, and now they're doing it.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting point about how much of our Culture Beast. I'm gonna need to go back and start listening to the first couple episodes because we have predicted a lot of shit that actually happened.
Yeah,
we're good at it.
We actually are.
Yeah,
seeing trends and calling it out. Yeah.
Well, we're both kind of students of trends and other things like fashion and music and BMX and whatever sport that I don't do any of those. You know, but it's interesting. You know, so we are maybe more aware of trends than other people.
Yeah, like I listen to other like automotive podcasts. And they're talking just kind of whatever, and I'm like,
whatever's
you don't
current.
know that this is happening. Like, like I'm answering their questions for them, you know, and like I want to call and be like, dude, this is what's happening, you know.
Yeah, get a research person.
Yeah, get a research person.
You have more followers than us, and we're doing better.
Yeah.
Something that's happening, speaking of trends in the automotive world, is we're finally, like, you know, years ago, people are like, well, we're dropping the V8. We're not going to be doing, and we're starting to see it.
Yeah.
We're starting to see the takeover of the twin turbo V6.
Yep.
And I am not about it.
Yeah.
Until my father's looking at a new vehicle, obviously.
Right.
And I've been kind of pointing him. He still wants to be a capable vehicle. He just doesn't need a big truck.
Sure.
I've been turning him towards the Ranger. So I've been doing research on the new Rangers.
Yeah.
2.9 liter twin turbo 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Tow capacity.
Okay.
12,000 pounds.
Wow.
You want to know what that thing pulls?
12,000
12,000 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a 5.6 liter V8.
That's crazy.
If they can do that with a 4-cylinder,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to start, and this is the prediction. This is what I'm getting to. I think we're going to start seeing these big 3500s and F350s have tiny little engines.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's I'm sad.
Yeah.
But then, but it also I'm like sadly intrigued because Mercedes, you know, they've got that 4-liter or that 4-cylinder that they're getting 400 horsepower out of.
Yeah, I mean the GR-Yaris is a 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
You know that produces 250.
Yeah, but the turbo's as big as our face.
Yeah, that's
a massive turbo.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, you get out and freaking, you can buy that car. Well, we can't, but it's buyable.
Yeah, we can't. Thanks. Yeah, it's available for no one.
Yeah.
For Toyota. Toyota can have it.
The Japanese market just has such cool cars. You know? We just don't get them. But yeah, I'm curious. You know, in 10 years, how they still run. You know, if they're reliable.
I think these first generations, I think, you know, you pull 12,000 pounds with a 2.9 liter 4-cylinder, it's gonna break. I'm sorry. It's got to be hard on it.
Because, I mean, you think of, like, the Audi Allroad, that was a twin turbo, and, like, at the beginning, you know, like, oh, yeah, the first...
Have you seen the current all-road?
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
But like the first generation, like the first 50,000 miles,
V6, yeah.
sure, they're fine. Then after that, you can buy one for like $1,000. So they're just piles of crap.
Yeah, and they don't work.
No, they don't work.
No.
So like at what point, like how, I'm curious, like long road, like how are they going to hold up?
Yeah.
Well,
and that's I mean, they're good, because here's the thing, if they don't hold up, it's not going to be sustainable. People aren't going to buy them. I
really think someone's going to come out with a fuel alternative, and we're just going to keep petrol cars. I really do.
I will swear on a stack of Bibles. I've been told that I've been wrong, and I haven't been able to find it. But I swear on a stack of Bibles, years ago, I saw an article from Audi that said they had developed a synthetic gasoline, and I never saw it again. And I have since met a synthetic biologist friend in Big Sky, and she's brilliant.
Talked about this last podcast.
And so she said the only reason we don't have one is because it's not profitable for the oil companies.
But so at some point, like some sort of legislation has
we're going to run out of oil, and then suddenly it's going to be like, fuck.
You're right.
Sorry.
And with the new electric cars, if a battery goes out, who's going to spend $15,000 to replace their batteries?
No. We have to figure out a way to make them.
Yeah.
More economical.
Yeah, because I mean, like, hardly anybody spends $1,000 on an engine to get an engine replaced.
No,
they're not spending 10.
No. Well, and it sustainability, has to be a factor.
It does.
I mean, and I have a theory on that O-20 oil that like Honda and all those guys are using. You want people to buy a new car because they have to before 100,000 miles?
Right.
Put a thin oil in it.
Right.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's really
diabolically brilliant, but like that can't be good.
Right. Yeah, unless it's just tuned to a specific way, but...
Well, no, but even tuned, I mean, that's less lubrication, that's less viscosity. I mean, it just...
Sure.
I don't know, man. I'm not a biologist or a chemist or whatever the hell, whoever does that shit.
I'm not a botanist, but I can tell you.
Yeah, The fact that I thought it was biology should tell you everything you need to know. But I'm there's just certain things that are happening that I don't think could be sustainable.
So. No, and electric cars are, I mean, we've talked about this a million times in the podcast.
Yeah.
They're just not
So when you replace a battery and it goes, those don't...
What do you do with it?
You can't just put them in a field. They leak.
Right.
Hazardous materials.
Yeah.
And they don't break down.
Yeah.
Like they don't... what's the word for that?
Decompose.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can you can't reuse them, can you?
No.
Can you
No, it's like I bought, a year and a couple months ago, I got this iPhone 12 Pro.
Right.
The moment I plugged it into the charger the first time, the battery has a shelf life.
Right.
The first time the battery's depleted and you recharge it, it has a shelf life.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's where we're at as a technological society.
Yeah. And once your battery starts
every time I plug in my Tesla Plaid S, if I ever got one, it's got a shelf life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I heard a piece of news that Tesla is selling batteries that they've had, but they have like 30% less capacity. Mm-hmm. And it's just like at some point that battery is not going to be able to charge anymore.
No.
Whereas you have, a car that has a gas engine, and you're not worried about like power not coming from that engine,
And you have to remember, certain hybrids, like the Prius, has batteries.
Right.
Other hybrids have electric motors.
Right.
Now that, electric motor is basically a magneto. Okay.
Right.
It spins, creates electricity.
Right. Yeah.
Those wear out.
Right.
It has bearings. Uh-huh. It has wires. It has mechanical components. Those wear out.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
So if I'm doing, I'm on a track in my Porsche 918, 918, and I'm going around a corner and the electric motor just fails.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The comparison that I see is like, okay, like let's say in 2035 everybody has
well, that's
a
what
electric car.
There's legislation
That's what I'm saying.
about that.
That's what I'm
We've
saying.
talked about that at length in Culture
Yeah,
Beat.
so let's say that actually comes to fruition, okay? When we start, when our phones can't charge well any longer, we get a new phone.
Yep.
Right? And it's just a phone.
Yep.
So if everybody got rid of their phone, it would equal to a very, very big pile, right?
Very much so. And
But
of
you
course, we
multiply that
always
by
do. We drop it
batteries.
in the middle of the Indian Ocean or some shit.
Right. But you multiply that by batteries in cars.
Which are not small.
Right.
They're this big, you know.
So if, hundreds of thousands of people are
The surface
getting
area would
rid
be
of batteries
miles.
and cars, like we're going to have way more problem with that than we are with gas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
here's the thing. Kind of circling back to the synthetic gas, if it's synthetic, you should be able to engineer it in a way where it burns clean.
Mm-hmm. Which would change tuning, which would change mechanics.
And it's going to save the environment
Mhm.
better than the batteries. That's why somebody said, I forget what it was, but, somebody was saying how, no, it was Elon Musk that said, as it sits now, for everything to go electric, all cars and stuff, he said, we don't have the infrastructure.
Mhm.
Electricity isn't just, it's made.
Mhm.
People don't seem to realize that. Electricity is made.
Right. Right.
We don't have the infrastructure in this country.
Right.
I don't know about the planet. I haven't talked to other ministers of, the interior of other countries.
Right.
I don't know any of them. But, there's no infrastructure for this.
Mm-hmm.
So unless there's a huge technological breakthrough, which, let's be real, there's only 4 people in the world that would probably make that breakthrough.
Sure.
Elon Musk,
Jeff Bezos.
CERN,
Sure.
over in Europe.
Right.
2035 is not feasible.
Yeah, I heard. Okay, here's another segue. I was talking to a friend recently, and they were saying that I don't know if this is true or not.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hearsay, we call that.
Hearsay. Bill Gates is investing in nuclear energy.
Uh-huh. That's why Honda and there's 2 other ones have not given up on their hydrogen programs.
Yeah,
hydrogen car programs.
Yeah, Toyota's developing a hydrogen
they know
race car.
that it's not, that it's not feasible.
Right. Yeah, Toyota's been developing a hydrogen-powered race car.
Yeah. I mean, went really well for the Hindenburg, but what do you know? For those of you who don't know that historical reference.
Oh, yeah. In a grand scale.
Yeah, well, it was rather large. But yeah, so I just don't foresee it being feasible. And again, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But when the guy who basically pioneered the commercial electric car says, yeah, we don't have the infrastructure for that, I'm going to listen to him.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy that's putting rockets into the freaking...
We put a car in space, too.
Yeah.
I think he sent it to Mars, so when the world goes tits up, he has a car to drive around.
That's probably true. Yeah. It's probably hard to get a base up there. It just doesn't let anybody know.
Well, yeah, he does disappear. If you haven't, Joe Rogan, I don't really like his podcast that much, just because of, some of the things he says are, a lot of people listen to him, and it's not quite factual, and that's dangerous.
Sure.
But his latest one with Elon Musk, he's done a few, but it's like 3 hours long. I encourage you to listen to it. Just put it on.
I didn't realize he's done a lot with... I know he's done one with Elon, but...
No, he's done several.
Oh, interesting.
But the latest one with Elon is, is really... It's a lot about his space program, and it's... I encourage you to listen to it. Like Joe Rogan asked, because he's a Star Wars fan, he asked the question. He said, will there ever be a hyperdrive? And he said that doesn't... He said, we have figured out at this point, without discovering a new element or metal or whatever, that we have basically capped technology for propulsion.
Huh.
And it's just, you should listen to it. But it goes to, what are we going to do?
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know where it goes.
I don't have the degrees to tell you.
But I know it's not sustainable.
No,
for sure.
electric cars are not sustainable.
What
I think is going to be a breakthrough, this is again another Culture Beast prediction from the Hue side here. I think that we're going to see a renaissance, if you will, in forced induction.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Superchargers, turbochargers, modification elements to the engine to make it more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's a broad world, I suppose.
Yeah, it is, and it. I'm interested to see how they tackle it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird to watch.
Yeah.
I don't got anything else. Tapped.
I do want to touch on one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to explain a little bit of why this dune buggy is such a cool project, because I think it's a great story, and ever since my kind of health scare, I've been very sentimental and weepy. I'll just be honest.
Okay.
I just start weeping sometimes. But it's just a really touching story, and I'd like you to touch on that.
So, I wasn't looking for another project because I don't need another project.
No, you don't have the room for another project. You literally are stacking cars now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's like Matchbox City in here.
In a place that shouldn't be stacked.
Yeah, no shit. On things it probably shouldn't be stacked.
I got cars stacked and a car on its side.
Yeah, we're out of room.
And I have 3 sets of wheels in my living room or in my foyer.
Yeah.
Sorry, landlords. So there I was, getting the oil change on my Beetle.
I was, Dodge City.
Okay. So I get a lot of flack for not changing the oil on my cars. I hate it. I hate changing the oil in my cars. I hate the whole process.
They have people that can do that.
Exactly. But and that's what I want. Like, I don't want to go get the oil, get all messy.
No, I mean, like, you could just go to Jiffy Lube.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't change the oil in my cars.
I like changing
I get a lot of flack oil for it, you know?
I love changing my own oil.
Yeah, that's great. Some people love it, but I hate the whole process.
Good for you.
Yeah, you can take it to Jiffy Lube, like pay them, eat an ice cream sandwich, and then pick up your car, and you're not messy. You're not having to deal with the extra oil. No, this and that.
They even write you a nice little card and stick it in the window. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. Cute. So I have a place in town, change the oil in my Bug. Yeah. Get it done, go pick it up, and the guy's like, I was kind of BSing with him, so I had some bugs posted on Instagram or on Facebook for sale, and he's like, yeah, I think I have something that you might want, or that they might be interested in, and he showed me this dune buggy.
And you'd never really talked to him about a dune buggy before?
No, never. And so he showed me this dune buggy, and I was like, oh no, what do you want for it? And he was like, oh, $500. I'm like, $500? And I was like, let me pray about it, you know.
And it came with a tranny.
Yeah, it came with the tranny.
No, you can't. It's 2022. You can't say that. It's transmission. Transmission.
Which
I apologize.
Might be a blessing or a cursing. We'll see. So I prayed about it, and then my chief.
Just full disclosure, we were talking about the transmission being a blessing or a curse, not. Man, 2020. You got to be politically correct here.
You know.
Yeah. No, hey. We don't get political. We don't.
I just said, you know.
I know. Yeah. And that was a whole paragraph.
Anyways, so I was praying about it, and I kept thinking of it. I thought about my dad, because my dad always talks about wanting to drive a dune buggy. He's talked about it my entire life, and I was like, you know what? He's coming to Billings next year, or this year, to visit. And how great would it be to get this thing running and driving, and him and I can go bomb around Billings driving this dune buggy. And I was like, you know what? It's worth it. So I paid the guy $500, and it's just been like this really great journey so far. Like I was telling you in the kitchen, like I went to Fairfield, Montana to get tires.
Have you ever been to Fairfield?
Never.
It's an interesting little place, man.
It's so small. There's like these huge silos. There's more silos than there are people.
Yeah, it's a grain. There's a grain elevator station there that they.
Yeah, just wild. So I went there to get them, and it just like this project is taking me to places and developing skills that I don't know.
We might be going to Hamilton, Montana next weekend.
Yeah.
For an engine.
Yeah. And that's really fun. And just people are just like really excited about this project. And so like, I don't know, I was spending some time with the Lord this morning just praying and like just being really thankful for like what this project has been developing in me, you know. Bought a welder, you know, which I wouldn't have.
And you've already welded new parts of floor pans.
Yeah, so learning how to weld again, which gives me, you know, because this guy's got a bunch of rust on it that I got to fix.
I thought you were getting rid of that.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. Either way, in the future, like I need a welder, you know. So had I not bought this project, I wouldn't have got a welder. And I bought just a cheap welder.
And you're learning about, you know, restoration body work.
Exactly.
You know, rust spots. And
it's good because I've honestly struggled with like a lot of apathy in my life in the last few years of like starting projects. They get kind of like cut off and like taken. And so I've just had a hard time like digging into projects and like, I don't know, like following through with them. Yeah. But like making like little steps of progress with this car has been really, really helpful.
You've made, I think, since I've known you, and it's been a while now. Mm-hmm. You've done more on this car than I've seen you do on almost any other project since I've known. I mean, you tinkered with the 924 for quite a bit, just trying to different things to get it to turn over.
Yeah, it got it running.
Like this is massive stuff.
Yeah, this is like a full restoration.
It's a restoration. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's wicked.
And it's like this is giving me doing my motorcycle, my cafe racer last year gave me confidence to jump into this. This is giving me confidence to jump into the Datsun. Datsun will give me confidence to jump into whatever else I decide to build. So yeah, it's really fun, and getting to, you know, have this car be a part of my story. Whoever buys it next, or if it gets passed to somebody else next, or whatever, then it has more of a chance to be part of somebody else's story, which is really fun.
Just on this one Google page, look how many different iterations. Dune buggies were like, they were so like you made it yours. Mm-hmm. And so and knowing you and how intentional you are, I mean, if you don't know Paul very well, you need to get to know him. He is a design aficionado. He's a savant when it comes to design. I really truly believe that.
Thanks.
And I don't compliment you very often, so just shut up and take it. Well, not in public anyway. That's awkward. But I'm knowing what you've done with your house, mm-hmm. and what you've done in here, mm-hmm. and what you've done, you know, at the shops, and when you way back when you worked for Shields and did, you know, design. Yeah. Like, I'm really excited to see the end result.
Thank you.
And what Aspen touches are going to be on this.
Yeah, it's fun because like when I posted my motorcycle, I got a lot of compliments on it.
Motorcycle.
Like the guy
the yellow headlight. Such a small detail in the grand scheme of it, but it makes that whole bike.
Yeah, and just that small thing, you know.
It makes the whole bike.
The guy that I got the motorcycle from, he's like, "Dang, if I would have known you were going to build that bike with that, I would have just given it to you." He didn't think I was going to finish that bike.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
he's cool.
Yeah, he because he doesn't see a lot of people finish projects that he sells. You know, so that was really encouraging. You know.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I just, you know, these cars are just cars. They're more, I think cars should be more introspective than they should be material. Mm-hmm. You know, I think they shouldn't be the end result. It should be the journey. It should be the people that you connect with. Yeah. You know, it shouldn't be what it is.
And that, you know, and true car enthusiasts, we all like what we like. It's all different, but we all have one thing in common, is that we have an emotional bond with cars.
Yeah.
There's something emotional. We have an emotional response when it comes to cars.
But I think there's two sides of that emotion. It can be healthy or it can be unhealthy.
Oh, absolutely.
The unhealthy is it's just a material thing, and I want people to see me as this, you know, mm-hmm. or I want to.
And I think unfortunately the aftermarket car scene has kind of gone that way. Unfortunately.
Absolutely, because it's. I mean. Us as men, like
and I have a whole theory about that.
We function off of affirmation.
Yeah, affirmation, and accolades. So,
and so when you get a new car or whatever, we want to be affirmed that we are worth something because of that car. instead of using that car to hone crafts and hone intentionality and purpose for ourselves to be a better person to our friends, to our family.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's why I think
to be better citizens of the world.
Yeah, and that's why I completely agree. And I think that's why I love the old school kind of classic art, and it is an art form of coach building.
Yeah.
And you know how I'm obsessed with coach building.
Right.
I am. And I know a lot of the company, I know a lot more than some car guys about coach building because I just love it. And you have these guys like Chris Runge, over in the Midwest doing those, from scratch, hand turning the metal on those old Porsche chassis, and Rod Emery, and you have these, those guys get it.
Yeah.
And Chris Runge, if you haven't looked up Runge Automotive, he builds the craziest shit, and he's self-taught.
Yeah, a lot of the guys are, which is super
he
cool.
bought an old English or an old European style shaping wheel,
English
metal,
wheel, yeah.
and he just taught himself how to, and he's building one-off cars. And he starts with a wood chassis, wood frame, and then build, and it's just wicked. I love it.
Yeah, that's I see myself going in that direction. I want to buy another Beetle pan.
You said you want to do a kit car soon too.
Yeah, I want to get another Beetle pan.
Beetle pan.
I want to get another Beetle pan, use that Subaru engine as a platform, and just build a car around that platform.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah, it'd be super fun.
That's a good ending note, I think. We did a lot done today.
We did.
Yeah, and I know that because I'm really tired now. As always, it's nice to be
listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and thank you for your continued support. We have, I don't know if you know that we have listeners all over the U.S. now.
No, really?
Yeah, we have listeners in Georgia. We have listeners in New York. We have listeners in California. We have listeners in Florida. And it's wicked cool. Like my friend Kara, she's works in real estate in Georgia, and she will be doing her files on her computer, and she'll have the YouTube page up.
That's amazing.
And she's listened to every episode we have.
That's awesome.
Nicole King.
Yeah, Nicole King.
And it's some people are car enthusiasts, some aren't.
They just like to hear us talk, I guess. So
and so
really
thank
fun.
you for your continued support. Because this is, and as we kind of touched on last time, we've really put our heads together and kind of brainstormed some really cool things for this year for Culture Beast, and taking it, basically advancing it to the next level. And we couldn't do that without, the support. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well, thank you for listening, as always, Paul.
Hopefully everybody got some stuff out of this, or some things to think about.
Yeah.
And if you want to add to the conversation,
get a hold of us.
us.
We'd love that. As always,
This is Culture Beast.
This is Culture Beast.
Thanks for listening. Bye.